iPrevail Subs for supplements that will give you the results you've always wanted. www.i-prevailsubs.com. T2 Rise, a weight loss product that increases metabolic rate and accelerates fat oxidation for optimal weight loss. Rogue PW is a tremendous pre-workout that gives you the energy and mind-muscle connection to tackle those weights. Amped Up is a natural testosterone booster. It's a unique blend that will naturally enhance your body's muscle mass and reduce fat. Forge Pump creates massive blood flow and hydration for a great pump in the gym. Get these supplements and more at www.i-prevailsubs.com. And remember, use discount code SNS10 for the serious and silliness discount. All right, another episode of Bodybuilding Talk. Don't ask me which episode it is. I don't keep track. But today we got the legend, Jason Artnz, and the soon-to-be legend, Nathan Spear. What's up, fellas?
How we doing?
All right, so let me see. North Americans. I forgot about that. We got to talk about that. All right. So before I get started, so listen to what happened to me this weekend. Yeah. This is pretty. You got a weak stomach, Nathan?
No, I'm good.
All right, good.
I'm here for the ride.
All right, so I had to work over the weekend, right? But it was all overtime. So I was supposed to work on Sunday and get overtime, and then I was going to work Monday and get the holiday. So I will end up working Monday. I got the holiday. That's no big deal. Now, if you get sick on overtime, nobody gives a shit because it's overtime, right? It's not like costing anybody anything, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so that night, the night before, I went out with my wife. Now, I eat clean all the time, right? I eat clean constantly. I went out with my wife. We went to eat, and I had a cheeseburger, I had French fries, I had a beer, I had 2 chocolate martinis. Don't ask me why I had chocolate martinis. I have no idea. But I saw another guy drinking, and I was like, that looks good. Let me get some of that. And then we had some of these, like this, what is it? Galama. But it was like this weird sauce that they had on. It wasn't like your normal galama. It was like, had like Parmesan cheese, and it almost tastes like Caesar salad galama. Anyway, whatever. So we're eating, enjoying ourselves, and I think it was the chocolate martinis that did it. So, yeah.
Anything else you listed?
What'd you say?
Any of the other things that you listed?
Yeah. So I get up. I kind of had a hard time sleeping, but I get up and I go to take a shower because we're going to go to work, right? So now it's like 6 o'clock in the morning or 5:30 in the morning. And I'm in the shower, my stomach starts rumbling, just starts fucking rumbling. And I'm like, what? It like hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, what the fuck? Right? So I get out of the shower, and now it's like, now I got to shit, right? Now it's fucking bad. But I hate with a passion sitting on the bowl when I'm wet because I'm sliding all over the place. So I'm trying to dry off as fast as I possibly could. And it's coming. I just can't fucking control. So I dry off as much as I could. I turn around to sit on the bowl, right? And it starts coming out. So, but I sit on the bowl, boom. And I'm like, oh, all right, good. Like I made it, right? I made it, no big deal. So I look underneath, right? I look underneath and it hit the back of the bowl, but in the bowl. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. So now I'm shitting and I'm dicking around my phone. I'm like, all right, 10 minutes go by. I fucking stand up. I turn around and I didn't make it. It was all over the back of the bowl and like on the seat and like in all the crevices in the toilet bowl. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It was fucking everywhere. Right. So now I'm like, I've been sitting in this for like 10 minutes. So I go to turn and I go to touch my back and my ass, and this shit all over my fucking ass and back. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I jump back in the shower, right? Take another quick shower. Now I got to clean the bowl, right? I had to take the lid off the bowl to get everything fucking out of it, like to get out of it. So now I'm late. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I called up. I was like, look, man, I can't come in. I know I got overtime, but I can't come in. I didn't tell them why. I just told them I couldn't come in. So now I'm like, my wife's got one of those scrub brushes that they use for the bowl. So now I take whatever cleaning shit she's got, and I'm fucking cleaning it, whatever. So my wife gets up. She's like, what the hell are you doing? Are you going to work? And I was like, I just fucking shit myself. and and I shit all over the bathroom, and she thought it was the funniest thing in the world. But anyway, so the next day, now we have, across from the toilet, there's like towels that hang, the fancy towels and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So my wife says to me the next day, she goes, I didn't clean it because I wanted to show you. She goes, open the door.
Oh, no.
She goes, open the door, and I took the towels off to wash. Look at the wall behind the towels. Now this is across from me. Like this is directly across from me. And there's shit on the wall. I'm like, how the fuck did it get on it's completely on the opposite side of me.
No more chocolate martinis.
Yeah, anyway.
I get the fact that you didn't want to tell them at work, what happened. What I'm struggling with. What I'm really struggling is, why the fuck would you want to tell us that story?
And now the whole world knows. Well, if anybody watches this shit, they'll know.
Oh,
I don't know. It was like I was 7 years old and I couldn't fucking control it. It was unbelievable. I don't know. I'm telling you, it was the chocolate martinis.
I will take your word for it.
Yeah, it was really bad, dude. It was really, really bad. And then I was freaked out. Like I was bugged out for a little while. I was like, just fucking.
That's not normal.
Yeah, like I was freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, like traumatized, like I am now.
Yeah. So that never happened to you guys?
No.
I've had some never that close calls, but
I don't know, man. I don't get it. It's just I don't know. I just blew. It was.
I had one time. I don't know if I had a stomach bug or what. I'm driving home. 2 hours of traffic. I'm holding it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you seem to always make it in the nick of time. I've never had an experience like that, and then I hope I never do.
There's definitely been times where you're like, when you're walking and you have to like stop to be like,
yeah. Clench. Right, you clench. Yeah.
I can't even walk.
Yeah, that's happened to me before. Yeah. Like I've had close calls, but this is like, this was not a close call. This was a tragedy. This was this was a
grieving process.
And God bless my wife. She's like, you missed some spots I had to clean up, and I'm like, thank you.
Oh my God.
I was like, this is why I married you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, you guys are fucked up. Let me tell you, you guys are fucked up. All right, so we have to get on to bodybuilding. So last week, for some reason, the North Americans were on a Thursday. Don't ask me why.
Yeah.
The bodybuilding was anyway. And
they do that now for a lot of the shows.
Do they really?
Well, the shows have gotten so big that they bang men out on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and they go into some of the physique and classic, I believe, on Friday, and they get to the girls over the week. There's just so many, especially the big national shows. There's so many people.
Yeah.
They kind of devote one day to a couple of groups and get them out of there and send them home and make room for everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, but why not put the bodybuilders on a Saturday and everybody else? I mean, that's what everybody wants to see anyway. I mean,
right. That's what we want to see.
That's true. That's true.
We still represent the smaller side of that niche market, I believe.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you're right about that. You're a smart motherfucker, man. You're smart. Yeah. Anyway, our friend Danny Broadhurst didn't do well. I really felt bad for him because he was really trying. Do you know Danny, Nate?
Oh yeah, I competed with him when I turned pro at nationals. He got 6, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. And he was really gunning to win this year, and he put on a lot of size. Like he got massive.
I'll tell you what, at nationals, besides me, he was probably the most muscular guy in our class.
Yeah,
he's a jack dude. Yeah, he's got a lot of muscle.
And I don't know what happened. He doesn't know what happened. But he just didn't look right.
Yeah, look right.
But I felt really bad because he's become a friend now, and he's been on the show like 3 times, and I'm definitely going to have him on again. He's a great guy and a wealth of knowledge. Don't get me wrong. But the guy who
talked a few times, he's a really nice guy.
He really is. He's a super nice guy. He actually has a similar background story as you. But the one guy who looked like total dog shit, and I don't mind saying this at all because I hate I hate YouTubers, except me. I like me.
Oh,
Was Jujimufu.
oh man.
Yeah. Did you see that,
I
Jay?
don't know what happened to his legs were weird, right?
And his chest, too. His legs and his chest.
His legs had like no separation, and then they were like a little pointy or something. I don't
Yeah,
know. It was strange, but
and then, of course, Nick Trigili had a field day.
oh yeah.
Just a total field day with that shit. And who trains Jujimufu? I don't know. I forgot.
Sure.
He's pretty relatively well known.
He's one of the well known top guys.
Yeah, I forgot. So according to Nick, he actually messaged him and said, "I'm going to put what I think happened to him." Blah blah blah. Blah.
Yeah.
And then, according to him, his trainer told him exactly what happened, which was, according. You heard it? That.
No, I heard. That's with the injection sites.
Yeah, according to him, he told him cut out all the injections. His trainer told Jujimufu cut all the injections and just leave the orals, and which was like the Winnie and whatever else he was using orally, and Jujimufu was using Winnie injectables, and apparently he kept injecting, and there must have been some kind of bacteria. Because supposedly if you
just an inflammation effect, and a bacterial infection can arise, especially when you're so depleted and your immune system's compromised. But what fascinates me about that story, if that story's true, is why the fuck is he taking so many site injections right before he goes on stage?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it should be done by that point. By that point, it's a wrap. You know,
why risk it? Why risk taking an injection before a show?
I won't be honest, but like he's not a good bodybuilder. He's just popular. Like
he's not a good bodybuilder at all.
I'm just saying, like Aceto or even any coach would have, like, you know what I mean? Like either way, he'd run into an issue at that level. You know,
he's a YouTuber.
Yeah,
that's it. He's a YouTuber, and I my pet peeve is when YouTubers are able to go into a sport or whatever and draw a lot of attention. You know, he went into. I cover arm wrestling too. He went into a few years back. He went into the WAL, which is the World Arm Wrestling League, which is pretty much, there's several leagues in arm wrestling, but that's pretty much the biggest one.
Yeah.
And he was able to arm wrestle like one of the top guys immediately just because he was Jujimufu.
Right.
And he arm wrestled this guy, Mike Aiello, who I also had on my show. And Mike Aiello was a tremendous arm wrestler. I mean, he's like one of the top guys in the country. And, you know, they gave Jujimufu a shot at him because he was Jujimufu, you know?
Right.
And it's like there were guys lined up that would wish they had a shot against Mike Aiello and don't get the chance.
Right,
you know?
right.
It's, that annoys the shit out of me because it's like you didn't, you know, you're just a name going on. Whatever.
I agree.
Anyway, but yeah, so supposedly then Jujimufu got mad at Nick Trigili because he said it wasn't true and all this crap and blah, 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 blah. So it was going back and forth, but whatever. Yeah. So I tried, the guy who won looked good though. Norm.
Felix.
Yeah, Felix.
They call him Felix, I think, or something.
Yeah, I think that's his name. Like Norman Felix or Felix Norman or some shit like that.
He was very well conditioned, had good shape and a lot of muscle for, you know what I mean, the guys he was up against for sure.
Felix Norman. I actually DM'd him to see if I could interview him because I saw him on RX Muscle. You know, yeah. So, but we'll see. He didn't get back to me. We'll see what happens. But yeah, he looked pretty good. Did you see him, Jay?
I did not see him. No.
I feel. Yeah, he looked pretty damn good. That's for sure. Yeah. I would pull him up, but I didn't set it up. I didn't set up the second screen. So.
What do you guys think of? Do you guys know Don Triboline, the heavyweight winner?
Let me see. I did not see him.
I saw pictures of him.
He got second last year or third. He was pretty close. He's been around for a while. He won Teen Nationals back in the day. Yeah, he won Teen Nationals like back in the day.
Did he really? What's his name? Don, D-O-N?
D-O-M.
Oh, Dom. Okay. And what's his last name?
Trivline. He works with Jansen.
Who's the middleweight kid?
Oh, that's Jay Living Good on Instagram.
He does look good.
Yeah. He was probably the best looking.
That kid had the best physique in the whole lineup.
Right. I agree.
Oh, what was that guy's name?
What was on Instagram it's Jay Living Good or something.
Jay Living.
I can't remember his
great structure. I mean,
crazy
212 guy.
Tiny waist.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
would have
very
given him.
good.
I would have given him the overall.
Here's a good question for you, Jason. Has the middleweight ever won the overall at a pro qualifier?
I believe years ago it was
Oh,
Vinny
wow.
Comerford. Vinny Comerford.
Okay, wow. Yeah.
I think so at the Nationals.
Yeah, you were a light heavyweight, right, Jay?
I turned pro as a heavyweight, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought you were a light heavyweight.
I just moved up, but I was a lighter. I was at the bottom of the weight for heavyweights, but I was able to earn it. But I think Vince Comerford was one of the only guys, maybe Shane DeMora, that won his middleweights. Possibly. I'm not sure if they got the overalls, but but I know they were definitely weight class winners. But for some reason, I think Vince Comerford pulled out the overall.
That's a funny name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vince Cummerbund.
But you know, nowadays somebody with good shape like this kid,
Right.
you know, I wouldn't be upset if they gave him the overall. You know, I think
I agree. Yeah.
I think it'd look good for the sport. You know.
Right. No, I agree. Yeah, I think he would. I wouldn't be mad if he won it. You know, last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta check him out. I did not check him out. I just saw the overall winner. But all right, so Jujimufu sucks. We could get rid of him. And North Americans, we get rid of him.
I mean, I will say it wasn't like the strongest North Americans, but there were some all right guys, so it wasn't the weakest. You know, it was sort of in the middle. Nothing wild, but nothing. You know.
Yeah. Well, I spoke to Danny, and he said he's going to be doing the nationals in November.
Nice.
So you know, I hope he really. Yeah, I hope he really takes it. I mean, he's got a great trainer. He's got Milos. But you know, Milos isn't hands-on with him like he is with Regan Grimes.
Right.
And,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Milos is like, you know.
Nate, have you done all three national pro qualifying shows? I mean, back in my time, it was either the Nationals, the USA, or the North American. Now it's the Universe also.
Yeah.
But have you done all of them?
Yeah. So I did USA's once, and then I did North Americans and Nationals 3 times. And then for me personally, I would never get a card anywhere else. Like you said, like, that's just, I look up to you guys that came up before me, and that's why I did Junior USA's first, you know, and then it sort of slowly not became popular. I don't know, but I always looked at you guys that came up, you know, before me, and that's how you did it. So.
Thank you. Yeah. What was your experience with them? Which one did you like the best?
Honestly, Nationals, just because I felt like it got the most hype because it's at the end of the year.
It's the biggest one, dude. It's
all the shows are out of the way. Like, there's no one else stealing the attention. It's just all Nationals, you know?
Well, also back in my time, that was the only show that gave pro cards out to each weight class winner.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The other shows you had to win the overall.
That's right. That's right.
So
yeah.
There was double the amount of competitors at the Nationals because everybody's fighting for that pro card.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it was always the toughest show, you know. And I mean, the USA winners were great, but the national winners always kind of stood above, you know, the rest.
I feel like Nationals has usually like most talent across the board. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like spread out. Yeah. Whereas USA's, you might have like a huge name getting into the USA's. You know, you got the Phil Heath and the Derek Lunsford and those kind of guys that like the USA's, but I feel like across the board, Nationals usually spread out pretty competitively.
Yeah, I agree.
Didn't Lee Haney win one of the first Nationals?
Yeah. Yep.
He did, right? Like an 82 or 83 or some shit like that.
One, yeah.
He was the first one. Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right. So, there was like, this is how like Nick Trigili and bodybuilding and bullshit, like he does this shit. He puts on like his thumbnail that Martin Fitzwater called Andrew Jack the bitch twice. Oh. And then you watch the actual desktop bodybuilding with Martin Fitzwater, and he didn't say that at all. They were talking about Andrew Jack, and he said, I hope he doesn't bitch out and not do the Arnold UK.
Yeah.
And then Nick just takes it like
took the words out, flipped them around.
Yeah. And then Martin Fitzwater had to put a post on his Instagram saying, I got no ill will against Andrew Jack. I'm fine. And that's not what I said. I said, I hope he doesn't bitch out.
Right.
Yeah, that poor bastard. He's getting a bad name for himself, and I like him a lot. And Martin Fitzwater.
He just has to know when to say something and when not to.
As far as I'm concerned, this time around, he didn't say anything bad. I mean, like,
yeah,
there are certain like Nick, what's his name? Nick Walker could say anything, and like for some reason, everybody just accepts it, you know. But
everyone can say things differently. So like Conor McGregor can say shit that other people can't. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think sometimes people just portray it differently, or they're received differently than each individual. Yeah. But I will say, like, it's not. He didn't bitch out. He already beat you. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, like, like he just beat you. So it's like he already proved himself. He's not bitching out. He's just, if he doesn't do the show, he doesn't do the show. Like he already earned his keep. You know?
Yeah. Right. Well, supposedly he's having visa issues.
I don't know. I hear it is really hard. I know I talked to a couple of guys that are overseas, and I guess it does take a really long time, and it can be a really pain in the ass, I guess. But
yeah, I don't know. But where is Andrew Jack from? Is he like Jamaican or something like that?
Well, I know he's living in Dubai, I think. So I think he's a resident there, but I don't think he's I think he's originally Nigerian.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, dude. The bodybuilders are coming out of Nigeria like nobody's business. It's unbelievable.
Well, Samson is Nigerian.
Samson's Nigerian. Let me tell you something. Everybody's sleeping on that guy, dude. Everybody's sleeping on that guy.
He looks full blown right now.
He's fucking retarded. Yeah, he's unbelievable. And they
so big.
Yeah, they're like, you know, the early shows people, you know, forget about, you know, and then it comes around and it's like you see him on his Instagram when he puts his post up, and I think he's 330 or something like that. We just started his prep.
Like
yeah,
it's crazy, dude.
With shape too and abs, it's like he's fucking retarded. It's incredible. Yeah. Did you see him, Jay? Did you see what he looks like?
Yeah, dude, he's impressive. It's gonna be It's gonna be an interesting end of the year.
Yo, I hope this Mike Crizzo guy gets his pro card and does the fucking Olympia. This is going to be really interesting with Samson Dowd, Nick Walker, Andrew Jack, all the guys. You know, what's his name looks insane too.
It's kind of like the first real exciting Olympia.
In a while, yeah.
Yeah, in a while.
And I think there's some fresh blood. I bet you Martin can get to the Olympia too, you know?
Yeah.
So then you got that's what we need. That's what it's been needing for years, and it could be the start of a few good years.
Yeah, and I think some of the guys that normally break the top 10, I think they're going to get knocked out. I don't want to mention any names, but
I think some of the older guys are going to.
I think they're going to get.
Yeah, they're going to get pushed out.
Yeah, I don't want to I think they're going to get knocked out because it's just these new guys coming up are hungry. They're good. They're great. They're big. They're shredded, you know, and they're just coming for it, you know. The only guys I got, you know, the top 5 guys, you know, well, top 4, right? Bonac, Hottie, what's his name? Big Rammy. Yeah, you know, those two, Brandon, those guys could still hold their own, you know, but I mean, it's basically from 5 through 10, there's going to be a battle.
So here's a question, since it's sort of on the topic: does Brandon get better, or is he getting worse?
I don't know.
Staying the same.
We'll see. He didn't.
Arnold made me.
Brandon,
you know.
Yeah, he didn't look as good at the Arnold. Yeah.
I can't say with confidence.
Yeah.
That he'll look as good as he did last time.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But we've seen it happen. We've seen it, guys, you know.
Progression. It's, you know, you can't hold that forever. You can't do this shit forever. And at some point you got to let go, you know. If he makes the top 3, that'll be impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Like the guys I'm looking to see is Samson. Hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry. I'm really hoping Mike Crizzo gets his, because he's also like 295 or something like that now.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
At 6'1", you know.
Yeah.
Andrew Jack. I like Martin Fitzwater's build a lot, and he's really young. He's like, was he 24, 25? I want to see how Nick Walker does, Hunter Labrada, you know, all these young guys coming up. I want to see how they do. And I want to see I don't know what the fucking secret is about with Derek Lunsford. It's like, dude,
Yeah, what's he doing?
Are you doing the open at 212? And he's just like, what?
I know. Why is it a big deal? Like,
Oh, God.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the hype. Sell tickets,
Yeah.
whatever. We don't have to know. You know, we
Yeah.
just fucking show up. You show up in shape, and let's see it battle it out. But
right.
I'm anxious to see how Hunter comes back.
Yeah.
From last year because there was a little controversy with his placing. I think overall shape, symmetry, flow puts him up there. Conditioning wise, he still needs to add a little maturity to his look.
Well, he's got his trainer is Hani Ramrod, right?
Right.
There's Nicole.
Well, dude, he just might be one of those body types where it takes a little more time.
I was going to say, I've never seen him 100%.
No,
not at any show.
Look at Cutler before Cutler really hit his peak.
Yeah,
his time.
That's true. He never was a field.
He was always a little soft, until he learned how to dial it in.
Nicole, can you hear us?
Hi. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey.
Cool.
It's Nicole Sullivan.
Hi.
Oh,
Nicole, this isn't an interview, so we're all going to be talking, and we might say some things, So, you kind of have to be like one of the guys.
All right.
Because I'm going to be talking about who I'm going to be interviewing tomorrow.
Okay.
But we'll get to that.
Let's just start that. Nicole, thank God
You didn't.
Nicole now, as opposed to when it first started, because I wouldn't even recommend watching the beginning of the show, just to save John for some humiliation. So it's good you got in. It's good you got in when you did.
Yeah, you'll watch it tomorrow and see what a disgusting human being I am. That's all.
Oh, God.
It is what it is.
All right.
Oh, so okay. So Nicole, there's a reason why I wanted you to go on, because you're the only pro figure girl I really know. And the last last month, they said no more figure in the Arnold Classic, and I wanted your opinion. And I've gotten both sides, but I wanted somebody who's actually a pro in figure to see what they think.
Yeah, I want to try to say this without being I don't know. I'm pissed. I'm like,
let it out.
I just don't understand it. I've heard many different different opinions about it and reasons, but I feel like we're not obviously being given the truth. I think it's kind of bullshit what they're saying.
Well, what are you hearing? As an athlete, what are you hearing?
So everybody saw what was posted on social media, and we're not competitive enough and things like that, and I feel like it's not fair. Why are we getting rid of the muscular divisions? Isn't that what bodybuilding is about?
Yeah, I agree.
Why? Okay,
I think they're leaning more towards wellness.
Yeah, but
that's what I don't understand. And I have nothing against wellness or bikini or anything like that. I personally don't for me, I don't like them. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's impressive that whoever competes, whatever. But why is it a coincidence that it's the sexual ones? You know what I'm saying?
I'll
muscular,
yeah. The reasoning that I got was he's getting rid of the ones that don't make any money. And so the ones that make money are the bikini, the wellness, and that's about it. Oh, and fitness. But that wouldn't make sense, because fitness makes zero money. There's 3 people in there every year.
Okay, but here's my
Even
with that said, right? Even with that said, okay, then why don't they jack up the prices on other shit? Because when it comes down to it, people are going to pay for whatever. We always pay. If we have to pay, we'll pay.
Yeah, to me that
prices on other stuff, so that way you're getting more income. Don't get rid of divisions.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, because if I'm buying a ticket for the Arnold Classic, I buy the ticket to go see the Arnold Classic, and that lets me see all of the divisions, right? That's not how it works.
No, you buy a ticket for that specific show, whether it's a Friday night show or a Saturday night show or Saturday morning.
Oh, I see. So okay.
You're paying for either prejudging. It could be for men's bodybuilding. Well, they got rid of men's 212 at the Arnold also.
See, it seems to me people want to say that Arnold doesn't have a lot of influence, but I have to disagree, because look at what he's getting. He doesn't like the muscular women, right? And fitness is still there, so the money drawing thing doesn't make sense. And I mean, he doesn't like the short guys, and he got rid of that. It's just, yeah, I agree with Nicole where it was like, it's a bodybuilding contest and everything stemmed from bodybuilding. And I understand you don't want to get rid of women's bikini because it makes a lot of money and to so many competitors and people come to see and get it and so on and so forth. I think that, I mean, the Olympia has it where every single one. But at the same time, I think Arnold's there to make money. And if he has to get rid of certain ones, he's going to pick the ones he's going to get rid of. And I think it's,
well, look, you have to, I could look at it, kind of a little more objectively because I'm a promoter also.
okay.
And at these pro shows, I'm handing out trophies. So it might cost me, $25, $30 for a trophy per competitor, for a tag. I gotta buy a trophy for everybody, whether I know how many people are showing up there or not. Right.
Right.
For the pro events, it's different because it's prize money. So they have to have this prize money set aside. These shows are not cheap. And Nicole, this probably is the last thing you want to hear right now. But this, and you work the shows, they're not cheap to put on.
Right.
So if they have to weed something out because the draw they're getting from figure isn't pulling its weight, look, I don't want to say I get it, but from a business standpoint, I get it. However, they should keep this thing going a little while longer and give it some room to breathe and open up again. Wellness is hot right now, but it's relatively new. Figure was hot when it first came out. Look how popular that was. It was,
Yeah.
it all stems from bodybuilding. Everything stems from something, but the longevity of things is going to dictate where the money's being spent.
No, and I fully agree, but the problem is fitness is just
look at women's bodybuilding. They got rid
of it. And if it wasn't for Wings of Strength, you wouldn't even have women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, they have one show a year because it's not cost effective to put on.
Yeah, but no, they have Wings of Strength is like they're represented at the New York Pro, they're represented at the Chicago Pro.
Now they are. But
now they are, yeah.
Came back, it was
right.
They did it once. Women's bodybuilding was dead for a few years, and it was
absolutely, yeah. No, but I fully understand the business aspect. But if that's the case, then why keep the fitness girls? Because the fitness girls, like they're not a draw. And here's the thing. The only two,
because they're cool to see, probably people want to watch it. Maybe,
but I mean, maybe I don't know. But
I guess my part that's confusing is it's like you want this to be the second biggest show in the world, right? So why would you even cut any division? You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, it's not as prestigious, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you raise the tickets another $10, it really isn't going to affect the ticket sales, and you'll probably cover everything else. I mean, this is a huge show,
Yeah,
and here
it's like the New York Pro or something.
Here's the literal slap in the face. Literal slap in the face is that he put the slap contest in the expo.
Yeah,
but that's at the action. Well, look, what they can do is they can have women's physique. Women's figure at the expo. They did that for the 220.
For a long time. That's right. It
saves money. You don't have to rent and that's what it is. It's renting space at the venue. If you have it at the expo, you could probably pull that off. Because people are buying tickets to go there. They don't actually have to buy a ticket to get in to see. You buy a band, you get in that day, you could see it. You could maybe lessen the money for the prize money for the girls, keep it active, see how it grows. If it gets some wind under it, if it gets some legs under it, you could put it back in the main event, but until then, you have to realize also there's only so many hours in the day. They rent these facilities for certain hours. They put on the show. They have the award ceremony. They have their other prestigious awards they do, but it's a crazy weekend. There's a lot going on there. Now that they run it for 4 days, it used to just be for 2.
Wow. Yeah, I know. No,
So instead of killing it, put it at the expo.
Yeah, I agree. I think that.
Well, I mean, anything. And hearing your point of view, like from a business perspective, I never really looked at it like that. So like, I understand, I guess, from that, but it's like, I also feel like they're not really being honest either with all of it.
Yeah, you never get right.
I think they don't want to say it like that. But when I was competing in the 212s, the 202s when it started, they had our prejudging the first 2 years at the Olympia at the expo.
Right.
And to be honest, we didn't, as athletes, I didn't give a shit. As long as I was competing at the Olympia, you could put me in the parking lot. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to make it work. And then by my third year, we actually made it because it was growing. We made it to the main venue, and we were in the auditorium for the prejudging and the finals. And that was an honor. My last 2 years, my first two, the prejudgings were at the expo. Actually, the prejudging and the finals were both at the expo the first year. Second year, they split it, and the third and fourth year that I was in it, it moved over to the venue. But give it a shot, you know, and then bring the girls down to the expo and let them do their thing. But cutting it entirely, I don't agree with that because it may have diminished a little bit, but there's still some competitive athletes there, you know.
Yeah, I think if there was a will, there's a way, and I think it was just easier to cut it. They're like, oh, let's just cut it. We'll make more money, and that's it. I think that's just basically they're going to cut it, and they know that they're still going to get the fans. They know there's not going to be that much backlash, So that's my opinion. But you don't. I'm not. You're not behind the scenes. You're not in the meetings. You don't know the real reasons. It's all speculation. But
also, if you do run it at the expo, now you got to bring a whole other crew.
Yeah, right.
A whole crew to run that because the other crew is running the stuff at the auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Jason,
that expense also. All that shit.
Jason, do you know why they cut the 212? Because they cut it before all this, so it was a different reason, I think.
That I don't understand for the life.
That I do not. I never got a real reason for that. I don't know why, and I did not agree with it. I thought it was great for the sport.
Right.
I never got a real legitimate reason for that.
When I watch the Olympia or the Arnold, the only divisions I watch, and this is no offense to anybody, but it's just my personal preference. I watch obviously the Open. I watch the 212. I watch fitness because I like the way they do the jumps and stuff, and I watch women's bodybuilding because I'm a fan of bodybuilding. I don't even watch the men's physique. The classic physique. I'll just go on Nick Strength and Power and figure out who won. And that's really it. Right. But here's a good question. Speaking of 212, Nicole, do you follow the 212 much at all?
A little bit.
All right. So do you think, because now Sean Clarita is he can do both. He can do either the Open because he won an Open show and he won, and he's qualified to do the 212, and he's trying to do both. And apparently he hasn't heard back from the Olympia yet, but he's trying to go there and do both. What do you think?
I think I know they have to approve it.
Fuck it, why not, dude?
I don't know why. I don't know why they wouldn't, but for some reason they might want to keep it all separate. But he did qualify.
Dude,
he did qualify for both.
He beat Regan Grimes and Sergio Oliva Jr.
Yeah,
he's such a monster.
And he's fun. Yeah, and there's something going on with Sergio too. He moved to Dubai, and I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna comment on that one.
I don't know what the hell is going on with him. Like, he's not competing much anymore, and
a lot of emotion.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, exactly. He's still huge, but he's in Dubai, and supposedly somebody's sponsoring him in Dubai. I don't know. This doesn't make. See, to me, like, if you have a problem here, and you move from here to A to B, you're just taking your problems from A and bringing it to B. The move should be a reason. There's a reason behind it, like whether you're getting a job promotion or you're retiring, or it has to be reasonable. I mean, you could work from home, so you move someplace where taxes are lower, something reasonable. But every time I've seen somebody just like, I don't like it here, I'm angry, I need a new start, and then they go somewhere else. Your problems aren't going away. It's just
that's the problem. They think that it'll fix it.
Yeah, it's just I never.
Yeah, I
Sergio.
Good.
I was gonna say Sergio will be Sergio, essentially.
Yeah, I've. Okay, I'm sorry.
A lot of his reasoning was pressure. He was feeling anxiety from pressure, being here with the name, and all these expectations on him for being better than he was doing.
We all have pressure, man. I mean, look what happened to me Saturday morning.
You're a fucking pro athlete, dude. You gotta deliver. We all have it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Some people handle it better than others, and maybe he feels that Dubai's a better place. He's away, but
here's the thing: if you can't, and I fully understand, like if you don't want to be a bodybuilder, because this happened to, I can't pronounce his name for the life of me. He came on my show too. Remember this Swedish 212 guy?
Nico.
Yeah, and people would look at him and go, "What the?" Like he was a freak, And then one day he decided, I just don't want to do this anymore. The guy from Sweden, I can't remember his name, Nicole something,
Bilad.
Something like that. And I had him on actually, and we talked about it and so on and so forth. And I put pictures up. I showed pictures. I'm like, dude, look, like you had the potential to be like 212 Mr. Olympia, and he just said, basically, I don't like the diet. I don't like the stress. It's not fun for me anymore. I'm unhappy when I do it. And I'm like, all right, But if that's the case with Sergio, which I fully understand, he has such a huge name and such a huge draw that you can find another aspect in the business to make money, whether it's whether it's clothing or a podcast or, do what Jason does with the supplements. Yeah, that fucking took a shit.
Well, look, there goes that philosophy, where, look, you want to be a competitive bodybuilder. It requires fucking hard work and discipline. And this is a 24-hour a day sacrifice. You think just because you're a good bodybuilder, you could run a supplement you want to run a company?
Yeah.
It requires dedication, fucking perseverance, and 24-hour a day obligation and commitment. And it's no fucking, what I do now is really, no different than what I did then. It's just a change of wardrobe, but it's fucking hard, brutal work every day. I don't do it under the extreme conditions of being depleted and dehydrated and this and that, but you do it under different extreme conditions of financial stability and having a family and having people to provide for. And so it don't matter what you do. If you're not willing to put the work in, you could blame anything on fucking stress and anxiety and hey, it's not right for me, but then you're not going to do well in whatever you do.
No, I agree. We're all speculating. We don't know what really is going on behind the scenes. It just seemed odd to me that he just decided to move. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to move to Oklahoma. It was like, I'm going to the other side of the planet. It's like, and Dubai's just as crazy as like New York or Vegas. I don't know. Whatever. What do I know?
Yeah.
I'm a fucking sewer worker and a podcaster. What do I know? What do I know? All right. So tomorrow, Nicole, I'm sorry, but I'm going to talk frankly here. Okay. Tomorrow, interviewing another adult entertainer.
You're on a roll.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's coming on. Her name is Nikki.
Casting couch. Do you do a casting couch?
No, I wish I could. I can't though, unfortunately. Yeah. So her name is Nikki Jackson.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, we know her.
Yeah, it's okay. And her. I mean, they're ginormous. They're huge. She told me she's a 40 G cup. They're humongous. So
uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, not for me. It's fine for me. So, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. That's great. Because I don't interview, like little booby porn girls. Like you could take your A cup bra and hit the brick, sister, because you're not getting on the show unless there's another reason.
H or above.
So I had to, see if she was legit. Like she told me, so I had to go on X Hamster and X Videos and Pornhub and
what's that?
OnlyFans and Google, and I had to keep finding videos. Jack, I had no choice. Yeah, and I was sweating, and my wife is knocking on the door, like, "What are you doing in there so long?" Working.
What you should do is you should begin that interview tomorrow the same way you began this one and see how that goes on.
Yeah, that's pretty shit. You know what she does too? She did the muscle worship thing, but she really isn't very muscular. But like she basically she's done plenty of porn, but she's done stuff where she just kicks the shit out of a guy and he just lets her beat the hell out of
I get
him.
requests for that all the time. What is
It's
that?
real popular. It's real popular in these industries.
Nicole, how many? And be honest. I know you're married and everything. How many DMs do you get a day on Instagram? Do you ever?
Many.
No, but give me a rough. Like I'll give you my DMs that I get without people that I reach out to interview. This is how many DMs I get a day. Big donut, nothing. Okay, 0. And I'm not exaggerating. That is my average. That is my medium rather DM links. If I don't, unless I'm reaching out to like Nate, then Nate will hit me back. I'll be like, oh, I got one. What do you think? Like an attractive girl like you, how many DMs do you get? Because I've heard like thousands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't open all of them. I have like hundreds. I can't keep track. I don't know how people do it. I really don't.
It is unbelievable. Like, do you know, like if I'm reaching out to a girl to interview, whether she's a bodybuilder, powerlifter, arm wrestler, adult entertainer, whatever it is, I have to DM her. Then I have to go under her post, her latest post, and I have to write, please check your DMs. I messaged you about a podcast interview.
No, you're one of those, dude.
I have to. Yeah. Then I go on. If she doesn't
get lost in there,
then yeah.
That's like you get the fuck off replies all the time because of that.
I never did. They're very nice to me, by the way. They're very, very nice to me. They seem to be very nice to me. So
I put up a post for the company. It's like, send pics to this. Hey, dude.
Oh no, not that.
Oh, I can't stand those.
I just met you, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking 20 of these, dude.
No, not that. It's me, and I'm going. Please check your DMs. I message you about a podcast interview, and I'll put serious and silly, and then I'll put a smiley face with like thumbs up and like maybe the prayer plate,
emoji, the eggplant and cherries.
yeah. So, and then if they don't answer, then I go under the second post the next day, and I got to do the same thing, and then they have to look through whatever.
You just continuously stalk them until you either get barred, banned, or blocked.
Oh, but you saw what I did at the New York Pro, right? Like I literally sat at the New York Pro and I was just waiting for bodybuilders to walk in, and I would just dart over like a barracuda and be like, can you please do my show? And that's how I got Jay Cutler to come on. I just walked over to him and I'm like,
dude, it works, right?
Yeah. You're not a creep, but you do it to another guy. You're a creep and you do it to a girl.
Right.
Anyway, so I'll be looking forward to that interview. It should be pretty interesting. And I got to say, like, those seem to be like my highest views. I get thousands of views on the adult entertainment.
You don't say.
Industry. Yeah. I know. And what's funny is I interviewed Forrest Griffin last week.
Yeah, dude, I haven't watched it yet. How'd it go?
You're not the only one. I mean, the interview was great, but I haven't even got 100 views on it yet. And I'm like, this is Forrest Griffin. I'm like,
I thought you would have pulled some numbers on that.
Yeah, it blew me away because the ones that I get a lot of the numbers on.
It might be timing, dude. It's a holiday weekend. Everybody's away, back to school. This is not a good week.
Yeah, maybe, but it's usually
that a little better, maybe.
It's usually the drama ones that I get a lot of views.
People like fucking drama, dude.
It's very a lot of drama. Like there's this one wannabe gangster. His name is Anthony Romaldi, and he must have slipped through the cracks with all the other mafia guys the mafia guys that I've had on my show are legit. Like it's easily, like you could easily, check it out. Like the guys I've had on my show are legit. They're legit murderers, right? And they did years. This guy, he's so full of shit. It's unbelievable. Like you can't even. So I did a video, and I didn't even do it. I did it accidentally. I was interviewing another MMA guy, Matt Granahan, and his name came up because he was on a podcast with him, and we were talking about MMA or whatever. And I just went in the middle of the interview. That guy's so fucking full of shit. And because he was on Vlad TV, which got him like millions and millions of views, and now everybody thinks he's the baddest motherfucker on the planet, And he goes, I was in Vietnam, and he's looking at this tattoo. He goes, you see this tattoo right here? This means I got 150 kills. And then he rolls up his other sleeve. He goes, you see this tattoo? This means I got another 150 kills. Is there a guy with a clicker in the 1, 2? I mean, who the fuck keeps count? I'm just like, this guy is so full of shit. It's unreal, you know. And the names that he throws out, like when I've had like mafia guys on, they'll talk about like at the most the capos in the, you know, not the high ranking guys, because those are the guys, you know, and they're the guys that are in the thick of things. And if you don't like look it up, you really don't know who they are. He's talking about like, you know, Vito Genovese and, you know, Carmine Persico, like the top dogs that he used to work for. And I'm like, hey, shut up. You're an idiot. You know, it's just, I can't.
Through it. Yeah.
Anyway, that one's got like 10,000 views because I just said he's full of shit. That was it. That's it. Anyway. All right. Any other topics besides my terrible bowel movements and
Well, I'm definitely not going to go to that restaurant you went to or wherever you went to.
yeah, don't have any chocolate martinis. Don't have any chocolate martinis with a cheeseburger. Cheeseburger and chocolate martinis is not a good mix.
That just doesn't sound like a good mixture to begin with.
It doesn't. It really.
One good thing now is I guess now we'll start to see, you know, because I guess the countdown is starting to begin for a lot of people, or almost everybody now, for the Olympia. You know, in their prep and their training styles and their dieting styles. So we'll probably see, you know, more and more progress pictures and, you know, give people an opportunity to make better predictions and see how people are coming along, who sustains, who bails out, you know, if everybody fulfills their contractual obligations and shows up, or some guys, you know, who knows, you might have an injury or two here or there. Somebody has to pull out, but it'll be interesting. I'm anxious to see how these guys progress.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of them have been competing all year, so it's not much transition. But to see somebody like a Hunter or a Nick who've taken some time off, and you can see the difference between the quality or maturity they put on over a year.
Yeah, this is my favorite time of year. I can't wait. I can't wait to see exactly what you just said. I want to get.
It did better when it was in September, the Olympia.
Yeah, me too.
You know, being in December, it's like, yeah, end of the year, fucking, you're bored already. You know, it's like shit.
It'll probably go back to normal next year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Nate, who do you think is gonna like be the dark horse? Who do you think is gonna really like make damage in the Open this year?
Oof. I don't know. It's hard, honestly. Like top 5 seems pretty.
Yeah, it seems pretty set in stone. I know.
I mean, what I'm looking forward to is. What's that?
Hey, let me ask you. You're a newer pro, right?
Yeah.
You know what your competition is, right? You know things you need to work on. You know the areas you want to bring up and specific body parts you want to pay a little more attention to. What fuels you now coming after your first pro show, going into your next one? What fuels you in your next preparation to, I don't even know what you're getting ready for next, but whatever that show may be, what's your mindset now for this off season or getting ready for your next pre-competition phase?
I guess when I did my pro debut in Boston, it just gave me like a lot more confidence than I had prior because I don't know. I thought I brought a really good look and stand next to some of the best guys in the world. Not that I was like very close, but I didn't look out of place or like, oh, he's small or, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I sort of held my own, I think. So it gave me a little bit more confidence thinking that, you know, maybe one day I could win a pro show or, you know, next year, maybe top 3 or something like that. I try to focus on like the little goals first, you know, I don't get too ahead of myself.
Right.
So next year I'm doing New York and Indy. So realistically, I'd like to place top 3 at Indy and like in New York. If I got a first call out, I'd be over the moon, you know?
Right.
So start there, you know, and then just keep working my way up the ladder. That's just what I did in the amateur too, you know?
Yeah.
Just keep showing up, keep getting better every year. And, you know,
good.
Well, I'll be at New York next year. So, cause it's right in what part of Jersey is it? Teaneck. Yeah. So it's right here. So I'll definitely, and I'll be creeping out other top bodybuilders to interview and stuff. What about you, Nicole? Do you follow any of the Open? Do you know any of the guys that are, or are you more about the ladies?
Who's your favorite Open bodybuilder?
I do watch it. I follow it. I agree. I'm a huge fan of Hunter, but I don't know. I guess we'll just see how much size he puts on. We'll see. He
definitely put size on.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it.
Him, Nick Walker, Samson Dowda, think those are the three guys that like impressed me the most this offseason, where I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, even Nick
monsters.
Walker, like I feel like I like recently was looking at his page and I was going down and I didn't realize, because he always looks like a monster, but then like you go back and you're like, oh wow, he like really got bigger all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's like 300 pounds at what, five? What? How tall is he? 5'7", 5'6"?
4'11".
Yeah.
I think he's 5'7" or 5'8", but he's
5'7".
At 300 pounds.
He can't put any more muscle on.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
He fucking puts more muscle on.
Yeah, there are guys that struggle and force feed themselves and do everything they can, and he looks at weights and grows. It's unbelievable, you know?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to call it quits. Nate Spear, thank you very much. The beautiful Nicole Sullivan, thank you. And the legend Jason Arndt, I appreciate everybody coming on. And this will most likely be out either tomorrow or Friday. And next week I will not be around, so there won't be much content because I'm going on vacation to Las Vegas with my wife.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, and I'm going to sit by the pool and drink and gamble and just do nothing.
All right.
That's it. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Chat with you.
All right.
Okay, everybody.
Later.